welcome to 5 Minutes of Awesomism, where Peyton and I share people, places, and things that we think are really helping those who are really struggling become more awesome by teaching them different awesomism things. So today, before we go and introduce our guests, I'm so excited to introduce our guests. I forgot about our sponsor. We thank our sponsor, the OHO Sunglasses. They are an amazing nationwide brand, and we thank Meyer for believing in us and being a major sponsor. So head over to the OHOS, TheOHOS.com, and order your sunglasses today. And a portion of those proceeds go to help us empower autistic adults. So today we have a great guest. She was introduced to me through a very dear friend of mine, Kim, and we have so much in common. We were talking before, and this turned into be a 100 times better podcast than I had expected, and it was already at the highest level. So you know how much I'm excited about introducing her. She is doing a project that honestly needs to get in the ear of all 300 plus million people in America. This is an extremely important project, and I think it's phenomenal that she's doing it. So Jeanna Bonds, please just tell us about yourself and what you're doing.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Lynn and Peyton, for having me. Really appreciate this opportunity to tell everybody about what we're doing. So I'm starting a charity called Spectrum Spaces, and the main goal of what we do is we want to make inclusive and restorative vacation homes for families with kids on the autism spectrum. So right now, in today's current environment, the hospitality industry really has kind of forgotten any kids that may have, or even adults that may have sensory needs. If you go to hotels or even flying on airplanes, they just are not taking into consideration families that may have sensory needs. So what we're doing, I'm a real estate investor. I specialize in short-term rentals. And so we want to create amazing vacation experiences that aren't only possible for families that have kids on the autism spectrum, but also just completely unforgettable. So what we're going to do is we're going to retrofit homes with a space specifically for kids on the autism spectrum. So we're working with ABA therapists, and they're going to help us put in the furniture that they need, the activities that they need, the spaces that they need, so that if they do run into a crisis situation while they're on vacation, they can come back into those spaces. They can get right back to center and get right back to enjoying vacation. So we're designing these spaces for calm, but we're really building this for connection with the family. We want families to be able to experience connection in a way that brings them together. And so we have these spaces built for the kids on the autism spectrum, but on the flip side of that, we want to also take care of the caregiver. And you know, I have friends that are caregivers. It's a very tough role. And I think a lot of times we don't give enough credence to how much pressure, how much stress, how much on alert the caregiver is, constantly making sure everything's okay with everybody. So what we want to do is create a wellness room in each of these short-term rentals as well, so that the caregiver can go in and sit in a massage chair. They can listen to a meditation. They can have essential oils, and they can just let their body relax and just really create a space where they can get back to center, just same as their kids. You know, we want them to be able to go to Disney World. And we all know Disney World, even for people that aren't on the autism spectrum, it's crazy and it's, loud. But then to be able to come home into a space that is, exactly what they need to get back to center, get back to enjoying each other, and have a vacation experience that they'll never forget.
I love this so much. We have a family that we work with. They have one child, and that child is on the spectrum. And one day she and I were talking, and she said, I need a vacation so bad. And I said, yeah, I get it. And she said, but we can't. Because she said, our son will want to walk and walk and walk and walk and pace and pace and pace. And she said, we tried one vacation. And she said, it was so difficult. She said that, the general manager basically came to us and said, he's disrupting the hotel. And she
Right.
said, she said, we can't go on vacation. And it broke my heart because one time when Peyton and I, and my third child, I have 4 kids, my third child were at a hotel in Houston. I was standing by the front desk and they were talking to this mom and she was just in tears. And they're like, we're really sorry, but your son is disrupting people. And I said, what's going on? I figured he was on the spectrum. And I said, what's going on? And they said, he's pacing at night and the people below are constantly hearing it.
Hmm.
And they said, we're getting complaints and we're full. So we can't put him. And the mom was afraid to put him on the first floor because she was afraid if he got out of the door, he'd be out the hall,
Right. Right.
out the
That
door to
makes
get
sense.
out. So
Yeah.
she needed to be up on a higher level so that he had to get in the elevator, which he didn't like to get in an elevator by himself. So she was trying to protect him.
Right.
So I said to the general manager, can I speak to you? And she said, yes. We went to the side. I said, you have a room above your conference room. You have a room above your laundry. You have a room above where you have your washing machines. All three of those need to have him in that because at night, if somebody's doing their laundry and somebody's pacing, oh, well, they're out of there. If it's
Right.
over the laundry that you're doing, they're not there at night. It's not just
Right.
keeping anybody awake. If it's over the conference room, you're not having overnight conferences. This is
Great
a
solution.
yes. I said, so you have a solution. This mom does not need to go. And she's like, I never thought of that. So they moved people around. And I saw the mom the next morning and she said, I don't know how to thank you. I actually slept last night because she was so nervous
Oh,
that he was going to pace and they were going to get a phone call.
right. Right. It's funny that you said that because what prompted me to start Spectrum Spaces is I was watching a TV show and one of the moms of she had an autistic son. She basically said, I haven't had a vacation in 20 years. And I thought, that's horrible. Like, how can that be? And personally, I don't personally know any family that has a kid on the autism spectrum. So people are always shocked, like, how did you get into this? And it really was God just took that one little sentence that I heard in that show and he just put it on my heart and it just would not leave. And I just kept saying, I need to do something about this. And as I got into real estate investing, I just saw that there was an opportunity that we could get these short-term rentals and we could work with ABA therapists and we could create spaces where these kids could have that and we could, get these families unlocked from their home. They should not be locked from home. They should be able to go enjoy the national park. They should be able to go enjoy Disneyland. They should be able to go enjoy all the beautiful things that we have in America. We have the ability to create these spaces for them. So I'm super excited about, Spectrum Spaces and its mission and hopefully how we can make an impact for these families because they deserve to have the experience that every other family gets to have in America.
I completely agree because this mother was there and she was bringing her other child to college. And so she had no choice. She had to be there to help. And she had to take that child, he was
Of
younger.
course.
And
Yeah.
she was just standing at the front desk, just devastated. And they said, well, there's a one floor hotel up there. She's like, you don't understand. He'll get out. And
Right.
like, I just saw the exhaustion on her. And I thought,
Mhm.
and, I didn't blame the people at the front desk or other because they didn't understand it. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, it is
but
part education.
it is. And so that's when I said that, she's like, oh, you're right. And she said, and you're so right. Cause no, she goes, we don't usually think of those rooms. She said, to be honest with you, if we have any broken furniture or anything, we usually move them into those rooms because people
Wow.
don't want all the noise below them. So she
Right.
said, we have to clean out one of those rooms, but we will put him in that room. And that mom said, he paced all night. Nobody cared.
What a great
Nobody cared.
solution. Wow, so lucky that you were there for that.
Yeah, it's a God thing. You know what I mean?
Right
It
place, right
really is.
time. God
It
has perfect
totally is.
timing.
Yep.
Yep,
Because
absolutely.
we had Malachi on our podcast yesterday. He's the player for the quarterback for Florida State.
Hmm.
And he was talking about how, first when he got out of high school and he didn't get recruited. And then, of course, I had to remind him of Jared Verse, who ended up, I love Jared Verse. Like,
Right.
I'm a diehard Chicago Bears fan, but I cheer for the for the Rams because of Braden Fisk and Jared Verse. Like, I love those two so much.
Awesome.
And I remind him, I said, Jared Verse, nobody thought Jared Verse was going to be anything last year. He was the NFL Rookie of the Year. So,
Right.
Knowles. And so, Jared's such an amazing human too. So is Braden Fisk. But, he said he realized that to go the junior college route, which is what he did first and became the junior college quarterback of the year, brought
Hmm.
him to a national championship. He realized that was God's plan. It was God's plan to have him go that route.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think, we a lot of times we get in our own way, right? And Olivia Miles in the WNBA, she's a good example. Like she was playing for Notre Dame and she could have gone to the WNBA. Everybody thought she was ready, but she said, you know what? I'm not ready. I know that I need to go for another year. She went to TCU. She killed it at TCU. She became the player of the year, and then now she's in the WNBA. This is her rookie season, and she's doing amazing. And I think it's interesting because she actually went against what society as a whole. They were saying, "You go to the NBA, you're ready," but she knew internally that
Yep.
she wasn't quite where she needed growth still. And I think that's so important for us to just listen to what God's telling us on the inside and follow, the more we are in the flow, the more he brings the right people into our path and the right opportunities, in our way.
100%. That's why I really don't like that phrase, fake it till you make it. Peyton made a plate one day that said, faith it till you make it.
I
And
love that. Yes. That's good, Peyton.
Thank you.
and I was like, yeah, that's it. Keep your faith. Your faith is gonna
Absolutely.
Yeah.
that's what we have to do is have the faith and then you'll make it. And it may not be the way you think you should make it, but that's the way it needs to go, you
Right.
know, and you got to do it that way. So, okay. So thank you so much for coming on. And we are
I appreciate you
definitely,
having me. Appreciate it
oh,
so much. Thank
we
you.
love it. And we love Kim. I love Kim anyway. Kim is
I do
just,
too.
she's one of the sweetest, kindest, most gentle spirits. She really is.
Amen.
She and I have a mutual friend, Sammy Smith, who played for FSU too. So
Mhm.
yeah, he and I both run the Kim fan club too. Because when he came on our podcast, we spent like 5 minutes talking about Kim, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
How much we used to love her.
That's amazing. I don't want to give away my age, but I've probably known her for over 4 decades. Long
Wow.
time.
Yeah,
Yes.
you have. Yeah,
She's an
you have.
amazing person. And all her
Yeah.
her whole family, all her sisters, love them all.
She's just the best. So I
Yeah.
really appreciate her connecting us, and
Us
we will
too.
stay in touch. And
Love
thank
it.
you so much for coming on.
Thank you for
And
having me.
Thank
yeah,
you.
Thank
and
you, Peyton.
keep us in the loop, please.
Absolutely, will do. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. Bye
All right.
bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.